So the devs just posted a video with a bit more of extra info for Tier 2. They call it their deep dive into Talandre. I've gone and summarized it into a few parts, and so let's see what new things they've gone and actually shown us. So first of all, they'll actually be changing the way they release the Abyss dungeons. As per Korea, they came one after each other through these milestones: Temple of Truth, Birkin to State, and finally Crimson Mansion. But they've gone and announced they'll be releasing 2 at the same time, so we don't feel too constrained as a player base and squished together. Next is simply a name change. The giant Cordy Greatsword will become the Warblade of Creeping Doom, more representative of its actual bonus. There will be 2 new archbosses. Yes, one of them being Cordy, and the other is going to be Noah, with, yes, completely new arenas to actually fight them, new mechanics. This one here is Noah, the ice princess, I think, or something, and Cordy will be this great big tree creature, Trent. But moving on, we have a bit more info on the Tier 2 gear and the confirmation, yes, you will need to switch to it. It's a significant power increase. But unlike Korea, they will be changing up these codexes so that we can get Tier 2 blue gear, and this allows us to have a bit of an extra middle ground between our Tier 1 purple gear to then the new Tier 2 purple gear. I assume we'll be able to get this to level 12 and transfer it to Tier 2 gear, getting that then to level 9 maybe even. We're going to have to look at that, and it could well change how we want to do our upgrade process. Maybe we can transfer Tier 1 purple into Tier 2 blue, and then from the blue into the purple? Not sure. We will have to check all that out as soon as we can actually get our hands on this new stuff. Just don't rush anything on day one, okay? And they will also be adding this new gear into our Abyss dungeons, the existing ones, and then also the new ones coming with Talandre, again, of which there are 3. Now the new mastery system, if you aren't already aware, they just covered again how it will be automatic transition to the new system. If you're, say, level 20 right now on global, then when this new system comes, you'll have 80 points to spend here. And I recommend messing around on Questlog already, as you can see all the bonuses and how the point system exactly works. And whenever you gain training due, you're just going to gain it as Mastery XP that you can then assign to weapons and click accept to level them up. So it doesn't matter where you get, say, that training due, which is now going to be called Mastery XP, as you will then be able to manually assign it wherever you want. However, there's a catch. In open world dungeons, when you're using those Abyss tokens, you will still only gain the XP directly to the weapons you're using. So be careful of that. This collection system here is only for training due. There is also then the new swap system, but it is literally just that, a swap system. Say I have my spear level 30 and I now want to swap that over and to use my wand instead. You can swap all the levels over. Then my wand would become level 30 and my spear would become level 0. But you cannot, say, move the 30 levels of spear and add them on top of my level 15 sword. You're simply swapping. My spear will be now level 15 and my sword will be level 30. That's it. As per Korea, you can purchase those mastery conversion books for 240 Lucent. And they will get added to battle passes as well. And hopefully we can get some for free. And I've seen them also added for free via events on Korea. But now we go to the flexibility in gear acquisition. So basically they stated how our currencies are getting consolidated. They're getting condensed down. There will be a tier 1 currency and a tier 2 currency, and that's it. Rather than all these different soul shards and dimensional essences and abyss contract tokens, it'll just be a tier 1 currency and a tier 2 currency. This will then add a ton of flexibility to the crafters. So now you'll be able to spend your tier 1 currency to purchase any of the tier 1 gear packs here. And then if you have the tier 2 currency, you'll be able to purchase any of the tier 2 equipment packs. This removes completely the restriction of what content you're running, what dungeon you're running in order to get, say, soul shards. Now, the random matchmaking already did help with that a ton. This just takes it a step further, where we will also get this new currency through the new weekly missions, along with a lot of extra rewards and just more flexibility on what missions we actually have to do, on top of adding that currency to like the arena shop, and also doing your Abyss contracts. Getting this Abyss coins will now just give a tier 1 currency or a tier 2 currency. Also allowing you to buy any of these chests, even if it's a chest that's normally only limited to, say, a co-op dungeon. So this is a massive quality of life improvement in terms of how you obtain your gear. Then there's the new synching system, which is another massive quality of life improvement. It will literally allow you, for every single gear piece you have maxed out, just in terms of the level, so if it's level 9 or level 12, you can then have 2 more gear pieces at that equivalent level at just a fraction of the price it would normally cost. You basically unlock these slots and then they're forever unlocked, and you place a different gear item, and that item becomes, as you see, also max level. So yeah, it's absolutely huge for build diversity. For every 1 piece of equipment, you can have 2 more that are at max level. Although that's actually infinite, because there is no restriction on slotting and unslotting those items. You simply unlock the slot and you can freely switch out those gear pieces whenever you desire. So absolutely just huge quality of life improvement right there. And will save you a ton of resources. Although it does feel a bit of a waste, since I've gone and at least leveled up 3 different sets, and now that's kind of pointless since you can't transfer that XP all into 1 new set. But we move on to some more details on the 3-star dungeons. We are again getting 3 at the first week. There are 5 total. We don't know exactly which 3 we're getting, but the following week we get the next 2. These will bring, yes, all that new tier 2 gear. Korea has all this. We don't know if they will be changing the loot tables. I hope they remove this tier 1 stuff and add like tier 2 blue stuff. That could be useful. And ultimately, they will be balancing them a little bit differently. They will be making them easier, so they're more accessible versus Korea. They'll be like less one-shot mechanics. And this difficulty removal will be moved over to, say, trials. So the trials will still be the same challenge that it is on, say, Korea. It's just the standard dungeons are designed to be more accessible to everybody. I believe they did a similar situation to the 2-star dungeons. They removed a bit of the difficulty, especially since we were only with tier 1 gear when these were released. Koreans were on tier 2 gear already when these got released for them. So they'll be doing that again for us, toning down the difficulty, making it easier. So you won't have to sweat too much, and you won't be experiencing that many one-shots, at least if you have a decent build right now. But then we have some more info on solo dungeons. So these will be divided into like 2 sections. The first part is going to be a bit like a puzzle or a maze, a bit of parkour, but your final section will go on to a boss, which will be a similar difficulty to what you find in like a secret dungeon and a co-op dungeon. So it's going to be somewhere in between. What's good is these are entirely different bosses, and there'll be 8 total. So 8 of those unique dungeons. In terms of what loot will actually be available, well, they've said tier 2 weapons will be dropping from there, including other useful items, hopefully growth stones and the like. But you will only be able to claim that loot 3 times per week. We will get 2 released at launch for the first week, and 2 more the second week. And that will be it for March. Moving on, we have a bit more info on Nebula Island. So this is a new map area here that's mainly dedicated to PvP. However, one area is still PvE if you really don't like PvP. And these bring 2 new bosses, but those bosses are actually accessed via a portal and are capped on player count, so you can only have so many people go through the portal. With it, we get the whole new artifact system, which allows us to fill out these slots and ultimately gain these bonuses, including new skill effects and set effects. You can watch my video linked below for more details. And they will also be, alongside all the other combat features, adding walking for role players. And if you're not aware, these are like all the other promised combat changes they'll be adding. And that was ultimately it for the entire 30-minute video. It was more of like an announcement with the goal of having a bit of fun on the side and storytelling. So I hope this summary and breakdown helps. We did get a little bit of new info. They're changing up the milestone system with 2 Abyss dungeons releasing at once. Tier 2 blue gear coming from the Codex and Abyss dungeons. The whole consolidation system with currency to make it more flexible with gear acquisition. The new synching system, 3-star dungeons being made more accessible and easier versus Korea, a lot of extra info on solo dungeons there, and yeah, walking for role players. So that's it for now. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.